We will begin the show today from Nollywood, where three giant practitioners, actor and director Ramsey, distributor and founder of Blue Pictures, Joy Odeh, and producer and management executive, Chris Odeh, have stirred a conversation around scaling in Nollywood with their alliance called BRS. The trio, while sharing the news with key industry practitioners including famous actors Wale Ojo, Chidi Mokeme, Osasi Godaro, and many others, explained how scaling is important at the same time requires strategy to work in the current form of the industry.
I believe strongly that we have come to a point in our industry that we begin to get value for whatever we put on the table. Now, whatever that value comes to is largely dependent on the scale that we are talking about. Now, the streamers, even cinemas, the entire universe is crying for authentic stories, scale, and you being able to deliver on whatever budget or whatever story that you want to tell. People pay so much to watch all these platforms. You'll be shocked to know the numbers. But when you put just anything on any platform, it doesn't make sense. Sometimes I feel the streamers, in as much as we want to say, oh, they are not paying us enough, can we compare our product realistically with other products in UK, in, let's say, South Africa?
Personally, as a person, I've made some decisions that have come back to bite me. For example, trying to get international funding, but not having enough resources locally to have the counterpart funding. Because if you come to me and I give you all the money you need, you become my slave. So what we are doing here is to have enough funds locally so we can have the muscle to partner with international funding and get the product without having all the money. So you don't need all the money to do. You need to have partners, but you need to have enough muscle to have conversations there. But the third point now is when you make these films for that amount, how do you develop the market to recoup the money back? So that's why it's not a thing we just woke up yesterday and yawned and brushed our teeth and say, scale up. We have done a lot of work to realize the kinds of people to partner with, because this is the first announcement. I'm very sure if I allow George, we'll announce like 5 other things right now, but we're taking our time to announce them. That would excite you to know why BRS was necessary to come together, which is a partnership to have globally that are going to come into play in the coming months and years. However, those partnerships are not only giving us the pedigree to tell the right story the right way, but also assuring the returns of the market. Because while you're developing a good story and developing a good structure, you have to also develop a good market.
The three are now set to unveil their first project titled Tokumbo, an action story directed by Ramsey and starring Gideon Okeke.
It was a random thing. So Chris had a story. Actually, where is he? Gideon had a story. Chris bought into it. Chris loved it. And they wanted to kickstart.
Sorry, this Gideon had a story.
That one.
This one I know.
That same Gideon.
Okay. Just wanted to be sure.
Chris had a story. Gideon put up. Yes. And then randomly, Chris just decided, okay, the story was fully established at a certain level, And he called me on board. Like, what do you think about this? I looked at the story, I was captivated. I'm like, oh my God, I would like to do this, right? So look at the details, just random. It wasn't like anything was going to be established. Of course, we all had our hands in everything that we do, creative-wise and work-wise, professional-wise. Now, Joy was already part of this from the start, also with Chris. So when I got on board and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this and I love it, but I pushed further, like basically they were going to do it like on a small scale. They just wanted to use to run and test run the market and themselves. And I'm like, well, you know me, I don't do small things. So if it doesn't go big, then there's no point calling me.